What's good, everybody? It's your boy Wayne Breezie and Crystal Peachy B, and we are in the building. We're here to recap the NFL for Week 6. We missed Week 5. I don't know what happened last week. What happened? Something came up. Something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
The 1 week we needed to be here to recap the ass whipping that we commenced on the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
We just didn't get a chance to do a show.
Yeah.
But we are here to talk about the Week 6 in the NFL.
You were traveling. That's what it was.
Damn, I knew it was something.
You were traveling. Yes.
For us to miss a show, Peachy, something detrimental has to happen.
Of course, just like you said, I mean, it was the biggest 49ers week last Tuesday. It would have been awesome. So
I'll tell you what happened.
He was traveling.
I was feeling sorry for all the Dallas Cowboy fans. So I decided it would be best not to do an NFL show. That was goodness. But listen, we're here. Shout out to everybody out there. Round of applause to the crew. We got people in the building today. I love it. Joe Montana's in here. What's going on? My man Lima's in here. 365 Lima. All right, we got to give our shout outs. Jax Knox first in the building.
Yes.
The air horns. King number 1. Hey, Peach and Wayne, have a great show. How come she said your name first?
I don't know.
Oh, good. I wonder what the emojis
Thank you, Jax.
Are that what those things are next to have a great show. Is that period?
Those are hugs.
Dang, how you know?
They're like hugs they're like the new hug. Yeah.
I have to learn the emoticon thing that's going on. Mike and Kim, what's going on, y'all? These are two of the greatest people on earth. And we got a chance to meet them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I mean, I feel like Mike showed up to let everybody know he whipped my tail that week.
Probably.
Hey, Mike, can you start Justin Fields this upcoming week? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Don't bother me. He's in the building. Got a chance to meet my man Steven, man. It was so dope.
Awesome.
He came to the video shoot with his wardrobe changes. So he came knowing he was going to be in 3 different shoots. That's what I like. You show up to a video shoot, you know, if we're going to do 3 scenes, you wear 3 different outfits. It's straight up easy. It's that easy.
Yeah.
You know? Matthew's in the building. Always a good time hanging with the crew. Let's go Niners. I love it. The Niners are always going to be the best team ever, period. Mike, what's going on, bro? Hope you're doing really well out there. Terrence is in the building. What up, Breezy, Peachy, and the BB crew? Miss Debbie, happy Tuesday, Wayne and Crystal. Blessing to everyone joining today. Hey, y'all, please remember to hit that like button. I forget that, Miss Debbie. I'm supposed to ask people to hit the like button. I totally forget that's something that I have to do.
That's why you have Miss Deb to remind us.
Miss Debbie is just an amazing person, and she sent me this. She's just dope. I just wanted to put that out there. She's just dope. Tanisha, what's going on? Good afternoon, Breezy and Peachy. Good to see you guys always. Creative, nah. Oh, what's my name? Oh, nah. I never catch live shows, he says. I'm on my way to work. Always enjoy it. Cool. This is an NFL show. So you know what, Peachy and Eddie's in the building. We got lots of stuff we want to get to. Shout out to my man Joel. I see you got something good going on. I saw your message earlier, so congratulations to that. We got a lot of stuff to go through. We want to go through some NFL news. We got to do it in 60 minutes or less. Peachy, how are you doing on this terrific Tuesday?
It actually was a terrific Tuesday. Nobody messed with me at work. Not even like Dallas coming up, reminding me that, they won this week and we lost. It's like they were nice. I didn't have any, they were cordial. And I guess it's because they scaped by and won, off of a mistake of Justin Herbert. So it wasn't like they blew the doors off like we did them 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, so they really can't come up and step and say anything. A lot of them were actually very scared that they were going to lose So
Yeah. I mean,
it was close.
watched the game last night,
Yep.
and I don't know about you, but I knew that the Chargers were gonna let me down. Like I knew,
Right. You just know. You just know it's just gonna happen.
like you knew, right? Like
Yeah.
Staley and his crew, they were just gonna let every 49er faithful fan down, right?
Right.
Like, okay, I just wanted to make sure I was the only person that felt that or knew that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I have high hopes for Justin Herbert, but he can't throw that. Just take the sack, bruh. Live to the next play. You
Right.
already can't see what's in your face. So what did you think? You were gonna throw to a wide open receiver? Couldn't
Facts.
see. Congratulations to the Cowboys. They
Yes, congratulations to the Cowboys. This is the NFL show. So we are here to represent all 32 teams,
all
regardless
32
of whether we have rivals or not. So congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys for getting the win last
PG.
night because you really needed it.
They did. Down there 4-2. But let's
That's
start.
right.
Let's since we talk about the Cowboys, let's just do a quick recap. There are your NFL scores. The Broncos stay Broncoing on Thursday night. The Ravens beat the Titans. The Commanders somehow beat the Falcons, who never lose at home. The Vikings over the Bears. The Seahawks over the Bengals. The Niners fall to the Browns. The Panthers, Dolphins killed them. 20. Listen, I done lost my damn place. All right, let me go back here. All right, look, I want to talk about the Panthers Dolphins game because they had a 14-point lead,
Yes.
and then they hit the tank button, right?
Right.
Or did the Dolphins hit the turn up button? Which one was it?
No, I think that you're right. Whenever we were talking about it, and you said, I think that they remembered that they were tanking.
They had to say, hey, we didn't
Hold
do
up.
anything yet. Hold up.
We're
Wait.
trying to get this number one pick. We can't get this number one pick
That's
if we go on and
but here's the thing, like, well, they don't even own the number one pick, right? Because they traded it, right? Doesn't the big or no, do they have the Bears pick? Somebody don't own a number one pick. I can't remember. But at the end of the day, don't they have their quarterback? So why do they need the number one pick for trade capital?
I think that's what they want it for trade capital because they're having a fire sale over this week, next week,
Carolina too? Oh yeah.
before the trade deadline.
October 31st.
They are trying to
Ooh.
move Jeremy Chin, and
I
they're
would
also
love
trying to move
PG.
a wide receiver.
Jeremy Chin safety.
Yes, trying to move him. Philly's trying to get him. The Eagles are trying to get him.
Am I wrong for saying I would love for Jeremy Chin?
I know, right?
Ooh,
I know.
I want Jeremy Chin. Pause.
So they're actually saying on Twitter because I be out in these NFL Twitter streets, and they are saying that the 49ers could battle with the Eagles
That's a Steve Wilkes guy.
to try to get him, and the familiarity there too. So it's just a lot of
So
We'll see who
right.
gets in.
We'll keep you guys updated on the Jeremy
Absolutely.
Chin sweepstakes.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure there's no way they will trade Brian Burns, right?
Right now,
And I was thinking this.
but things change. So I would not be surprised if Burns became available for the right price.
I just think it would be dumb because you that's a staple piece. Ain't no right price I want to trade for having one of the best premier pass rushers
You would think so.
in the
Exactly.
league. Because if that's the case, I mean, like, I don't know. But Sim says Jeremy Chin can play nickel, which would be a hell of a upgrade.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I know we got Jair Brown for the next couple of years, but if you sign Chin to a couple of years and Gibson doesn't go, he can go back to safety, and you can kind of work Jair Brown into like this nickel back.
Telling you.
I love Timothy Smith because he is in here every week. Now, this is the show where you can represent your Cowboys. You won't get
right.
black
That's fine.
representing your Cowboys here.
It's fine. And Timothy has been representing, and
100%.
it
He's been the
is what it
best
is. What?
Cowboy representative
Oh, he has absolutely,
and consistent
definitely has.
and consistent. I can't believe they won last night, though. You know
I
what?
can't either.
Yeah. Where did I lose my place? Let's see. The Vikings beat. I don't even know where I'm at. Seahawks lost to the Bengals. I tell you, we did that. We did that.
Hmm.
The Colts got mollywopped by the Jaguars. The Saints fall to the Texans. The Patriots we knew weren't going to beat the Raiders because they're just not going to win any more games. The Lions destroy the Cardinals 20-6. The Cardinals lose to the Rams. The Eagles got beat by the Jets, which was the best thing that happened. And it was the best thing for a 49er fan that happened all week, right? Like the Eagles losing to the Jets on the same day at a different time, right?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It made them 5-1. Shout out to
That's
Robert
right.
Saleh for doing the 49ers faithful a huge solid. A huge solid, right? A huge solid. So wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We just bigged up Timothy saying congrats to his team, and he's telling us that our team's gonna lose to the Vikings in week 7. We'll do a week 7 preview, but okay. I see how you want to start the show. Uh the Giants Bills game, did that have you like question marks Sunday
Oh,
night?
it had me completely like the question mark thing where you have the thing and it has the question marks floating out or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Like that is when you name something that you did not think was going to happen, you did not think that that game was going to wind up being 14-9. That was crazy. It was a very, very just unexpected turn of events.
So there was a question about Brian Burns. Is he a free agent? He's actually playing on his 5th year option.
Yes.
So you might be right. They may not offer that. That would be dumb.
But that apparently the Panthers are looking for just like to stock up on picks, kind of like the OKC Thunder, except in the NFL. That's who I kind of compare them to because they keep trying to get as many picks as they possibly can get because they're rebuilding because they have a nice young quarterback and they want to build around him and they want to make sure that he's good and they got their vet in Thielen who is making sure that he's good. But then they want to build like a bunch of youngsters around him. So want to like raise them up together and try to do something. So
Yeah.
we'll see if Burns comes available. If Burns comes available, the 49ers will be the first one that will be on the phone because Wilkes will be like, hey.
I'm just trying to figure out how they work it out. Like, so if he, like, how does he become available? Obviously, we would have to trade for him. And
Yes.
then will the 49ers be responsible for that? What is he getting? It's 25 million, the 16 million this year. So like
Yeah,
how much of that will we would we still be responsible for?
exactly.
Like I feel like let's just say take 16 million divided by I don't know. He's getting 16 million and there's 17 games. So he's making 900,000 per game. I guess that's how you can kind of look at it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so like is that's already going to be paid by the Panthers? Will the Niners have to pick up the remaining balance? So that would be something to pay attention
That's a
to
good point.
if they don't plan to. I mean, there's no contract extension. The contracts are actually on hold right now, which is
That's right.
weird. Which is weird. Now they're 0-6, so Peachy could be right. They could be tanking, and they can not care anything about moving forward with the premier pass rusher, and maybe try to draft another one. With the first round pick, right? Like that is something that they can do. So you know what? You could be right, and that could be possible. Now, will the Niners be in on it? I won't roll. I won't roll. You know what? To let's cap off the NFL recap with this from Matthew. And can we talk about the horrible officiating all week? Yeah, like so like the NFL officials, man. Like, all right, here's the only thing that I know for sure. Number one, they're part-time employees, right? They don't work all year round. And like, but is there some type of standardized test or uh
Right.
there's gotta be something because like
Something
because
because the thing is it um I think I tweeted this out. I was wondering if it was the replacement refs. You remember whenever we had the
Yeah,
replacement
who were the
refs?
replacement? Yeah. Oh no, in real NFL, yeah.
Right. And how bad they were. Like, that's what these refs reminded me of. Like, they reminded me of the replacement refs. You know how everybody is talking about that
Expect it
aliens are
from them
here.
though, PG. Like I expect it from replacement refs.
Right. But that's what it reminded me of. But you know how they talk about aliens are invading people like already and stuff? Like, it really made you wonder, like, is this the actual refs or is aliens invade? Because one, just in the 49er Browns game alone, the refs didn't know whose jersey was whose. They didn't know what team they were, supposed to be penalizing. Like,
He would
it was
penalize a
bad.
player and then confer and
Yeah.
then change the penalty on the player.
And then the one rep that comes out that was doing all the talking when he was
He
like,
was like,
well,
he
apparently.
no, that's not. He was like, he was. This is what he said in our language. Y'all chill the beep out. My bad. I made a mistake. But this is the real. This is the real
It
call.
was so crazy because he came out with that look. Like, look, I know.
Like
It's
not
a
even.
mess. I get it.
It was the look, and then he shouldn't even said it. He should have just gave the correct call. But he
Right.
literally looked like, yo, my bad. He was like, I messed up.
Right.
Y'all chill out. And the crazy thing is, we
Goodness.
weren't even home, but you can tell that the 49er fans, 25 flags in that game. That had to be the game with the most flags.
Had to be.
In week 6, 25 flags. Like 25.
I don't know who the most penalized team was. It had to be us, though.
Well, we were definitely the most penalized team in week 6, but I'm just talking about all together. It was
Right.
25 flags, and they didn't pick any of them up. They made a call, and then let's talk about the missed call because, like, you know what? I can live with the flags. I can live with what they called, to the majority of it, right? I can
Mm-hmm.
live with it, but there was a missed call that they called. Now, this didn't even have to do with flags. So it's not just that the officiating sucks at understanding flags and judgment, whatever. They just don't even know what a fumble is. They don't know what
Oh,
like
yeah.
I couldn't figure out. So like,
Mm-mm.
don't bother me. This could be true, right? But you can't take the frustration out on the players in a game. Like find a different way because this wasn't it. Refs were upset because of the pregame shenanigans. Cool. I didn't see that many flags in the Dallas Cowboy game and the Chargers game, and there was
Mm-mm.
plenty of pregame
Yeah, they
shenanigans.
had and they actually had some swinging in that
There
game.
was some
Austin
swinging
Eckler's
going on.
helmet got knocked off.
There was some swanging going
Mm-hmm.
on in that game from a Dallas defensive lineman, but for some
Yes.
reason they still played. Like they played.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying like, yo, it is what it is. I'm not saying that the 49ers lost that game due to penalties, but come on, refs. Come
Yeah.
on. Like, just be even. And I don't mean be even by the number of flags you call for each team. I'm talking about it's 4 of you out there, maybe even 5. Figure it out. Like, they got to figure it out. They got to get better. And you know where it starts
Right.
with, PG? It
Mm-hmm.
starts with the NFL news, which we're about to get into. Let's talk about Roger Goodell, right? Roger Goodell has been extended to 2027. So let's talk about Goodell because his role as the commissioner is what? Because the owners still run the mother side.
Right. To me, Goodell is like the Molly Karam first take. Like,
Damn.
it just moderates because the owners make the rules. The owners make the decisions um, on everything. It's all about the owners. He works for the NFL owners,
Right.
so he's just like a moderator. He just, I mean, seriously, and he gets paid billions of dollars to just do that. So can I have that job, please? Because it has to be the easiest job in the world, which is why he is able to get extended and have over 20 years as our commissioner and be 68 by the time that's up, and looks amazing for his age, because what does he got to stress about? He doesn't make any decisions. Like, seriously, all the votes, every time you hear about something getting passed or something being, denied or whatever happens, it's never him. Like, he didn't have anything to do with it. Nothing to do with it. And we can see by certain things that happen in the league also. Dude just he's just chilling. Like, he's got the easiest job, man. For real. It's crazy.
I think that the one thing, like he's the general manager of the NFL. That's what the commissioner is, and he ties other forces together to make sure that the NFL looks good. It's on top of the world, all that type of stuff. So that's what he's good at. But as far as just like and remember, he doesn't make the rules,
No.
but he definitely has to be the one to set out. He's that mediator, like you said, right?
Mhm.
Like he has to be the one to set out. He order in the court type of guy with all 32 NFL owners and billionaires. You know, so I mean, congrats to him. I guess round of applause, Roger Goodell
Yeah.
getting extended.
More billions.
I don't even think he makes billions. I think he's just a millionaire. But at the end of the day, he's still more money than I got. Um, but yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Like, I mean, you think about like the organizations that we're close ties to, like the military, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
and then the breast cancer awareness and all those different types of things, the movements that the NFL allows to come in and things like that. That's all under Roger Goodell. So I can't, it's funny. I can't even tell you who the commissioner was before Roger Goodell. But if you say his name, I'll be like, oh yeah. But right now, Goodell's just been the commissioner. It seems like forever.
Okay, so right here, Breezy, it says that Roger Goodell made 128 million over the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This year, he's expected to earn 63.9 million in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been our commissioner for what? For almost 20 years.
Yeah.
So he's a billionaire.
I don't know if he's a billionaire. You said 100 and then you add 60, that's 200 for the last 2 years. We don't know what he made prior to that. It might have been less money. And then he worked his way up to this amount of money. Paul Tagler blue. Wow. You guys remember Paul
Yep.
Tagler blue. Wow.
Yep.
Sound like a
I
basketball
remember.
game. But again, congrats to Roger Goodell. What else is going on in NFL news? Big trade today. Not trade, signing.
Yeah. We had some super huge signings today. The Philadelphia Eagles just got better. They signed Julio Jones.
Peachy. This ain't Atlanta Falcons Julio.
I know.
So how the hell did they get better?
Because their fans say that they got better. So I'm just trying to
Peachy.
go with what they say.
Just because it's the all 32 show don't mean we can't keep it 100. Peachy. Look, it's Julio. First of all, Jalen Hurts ain't better. So all you're doing is adding another wide receiver that could get right in Tennessee.
Right.
But I get that was Ryan Tannehill. But at the end of the day, what is Julio other than just being another option for Hurts? Like, what is he really going to bring to the city of Philadelphia?
Got you. I know that AJ Brown was pushing to get him there.
Because they were teammates in
Yes.
Tennessee.
Because they're like really tight.
What does this mean, Peachy, about Devontae Smith, though?
Right. Who is starting to kind of
fizzle out.
Get kind of for some reason.
What's going on in Philly, Peachy? Where's the city of brotherly love now? Why are they not watching this podcast? Like, what's really going on in Philly?
Yeah, it's
the real RMP. Are you an Eagles fan? Because you said the best one-loss team is.
It must be then. So the thing is that okay, so the reason why that they brought in Julio Jones, this is what the Eagles organization is saying, is because they just put Quez Watkins on IR. So they basically needed a third wide receiver. So they brought him in. But Breezy brought up a great point. Um, Devontae Smith is starting to get like pushed to the side, and I don't know what they're doing. And I think that's one reason why I think Jalen is making these mistakes, because he's not. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing. I don't think Philly knows what they're doing. Somebody that brought up a good point, saying that it reminds them of what the Rams was trying to do, how they were trying to get all these players together to just win a Super Bowl,
Oh,
and then
like when they
after
got
that,
OBJ.
right, then that's all you
But,
then
but, but
that's all you
OBJ,
have.
but OBJ helped them.
Yeah, he
And
did.
if it wasn't for OBJ, they probably wouldn't have beat us. OBJ got hurt that next game.
Yeah,
Got hurt in the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
And
That's true.
so like, but I don't think that Julio Jones, as great of a wide receiver he was, I'm not saying he can't resurge.
Mm-hmm.
The real RMP, how do you feel about Julio Jones? Put your comment in the chat. Feel free to do a super chat.
Right. And thank you to all the different teams that are representing. We really appreciate it. Let everybody know about this NFL show
Yeah.
that we have on Tuesdays, because we welcome all 32. Like when we literally have all 32, we meet all 32. So
Yeah.
you know somebody who doesn't know about this, get them in here so we can get the whole crowd in here and everybody can get their say and they can, communicate with us, and let's definitely do that. So the next news we have is that the Green Bay Packers signed a running back, James Robinson.
I like this. I wasn't finished with Julio because
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
going to spend time on the Eagles because I don't think it
Gotcha.
makes sense. But I do understand that they're going to try to add other weapons. And then when you look at Devontae Smith, I
Mm-hmm.
guess my question is it the offensive coordinator? Is he the person that's struggling? Because aren't they running a new offense this year?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's the real reason why Hertz is kind of struggling, has the high interceptions and things like that. But like the real RMP says, look, Julio is definitely a shell of himself, but he make and this is cool. I mean, it's not like you spending much money. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's not like you're doing anything. But if he's healthy and he's a rotational guy and he can go out there, like you said, Peachy, and just give you some type of rotation and remain healthy, possibly. I think it's too early to bring him in. Maybe you wanted to wait a little to if the
Yeah.
playoffs. I don't know. That's just me.
Maybe they were afraid that somebody else was going to get him.
I don't think anybody in their mamas was thinking about Julio Jones. The
I don't know.
only person I thought would have thought of Julio Jones
Mm-hmm.
was Kyle Shanahan, and
I
he ain't
think
even thinking of Julio.
I think AJ Brown. I think they just talked, and AJ, was like, "Why don't you just come over here and hang out, you know, like that or something, like that to play." And he probably convinced them that Julio would be good for them. So we'll definitely see. So Sim says this.
Yeah, I like that comment. He says,
That's interesting.
We'll see, Sim.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just feel like he blocks, he gets hurt. So we'll see. Like he does definitely a big body receiver. Not sure how much he'll offer in the blocking game, but if that's the case, we should have went and got him. But at the end of the day, um, congrats to Philly. Let's talk about James Robinson, who's always one of the toughest running backs, and I liked him in Jacksonville. And
Love him.
when they drafted Travis Etienne, they decided
Mm-hmm.
to move forward.
Yep.
He didn't really do much. I think he went to the Giants, and then he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything with the Jets.
Yeah.
He's going to get another shot in Green Bay. Now, does this mean that Aaron Jones is not coming back for right now?
And that's what I think it means. They haven't really said nothing about a setback. I just have a feeling that it might be a little bit worse than they thought, because for Green Bay to just all of a sudden decide to sign a running back, they could be also doing this to just for insurance, because of how Aaron Jones, like if they bring Aaron Jones back too soon and then it get hurts again, then that might be it. So I think that's why they're signing James Robinson. But I think it's smart for Green Bay to do this. They definitely needed to add a running back. So I'm glad that they did.
I I don't know about Aaron Jones. I watched him
Yeah.
sit on the sideline on that last, what was that? Sunday night football against the Raiders. And it was just AJ Dillon, AJ Dillon,
Yeah.
AJ Dillon. And I like AJ Dillon, but he's better off goal line guy,
Yeah.
short yard distance
Yeah.
guy.
He's like a bruiser.
But he had a great game. It's just
Yeah.
that he had zero help in the run game. Like, he's
Right.
the spell guy. So
Yeah.
who's going to be the bell cow? That might be dangerous though. Robinson and Dillon.
Yeah. That could be good. I think it's a great move by Green Bay to go ahead and get a running back. So in that case, and then we also have the Rams that signed a running back, Royce Freeman.
Okay.
And they signed Royce Freeman to the active roster, and they put Darrell Henderson on the practice squad.
Okay. So they demoted Darrell Henderson. They got Royce Freeman. I think he played for the Broncos or Bears. Felt like he
The
played for the
Broncos,
Broncos.
Denver. Yeah.
And this is due to the injury to Kyron Williams, who
Yes,
won't play this week.
that's right.
Bull
Kyron
crap.
Williams is out. So then we have some good news for you Arizona Cardinal fans. Kyler Murray is on his way back, and he's eligible to return to practice as early as tomorrow.
So Kyler Murray may practice tomorrow.
So all of the
At least return.
rumors that were going around that that he wasn't playing this year. Now, this does not mean that Arizona is going to keep him, because I still think that the new staff they have, I just think they want their own. So it wouldn't surprise me if they still moved on from Kyler, but we'll see.
That's a big contract.
It is, but bigger contracts have been moved before, so it happens. So then, and also cornerback Jalen Ramsey out of Miami could return to practice as early as this week. So his eligibility is open for him to return, and he improved a lot sooner than they thought that he was going to. So that's really good for Miami to get their cornerback. That'll help them with their secondary if they can get Jalen back over the next couple of weeks out on the field.
Definitely will help their defense in total,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that'd be a huge one for the Dolphins. Then we have defensive tackle Grover Stewart, who was doing awesome for the Colts and actually played 84 straight games, is now suspended for 6 games for PEDs. So Indy just keeps getting bit with different situations, like losing their starting quarterback for the season. And just this news with Grover Stewart, he, from what I'm reading, is one of the best defensive players that they have. And so that sucks for you Colts fans. Sorry about that. So then there was a vote today where the NFL owners approved on a 32-0 vote the proposal to delay in-person head coaching interviews involving candidates employed by NFL teams until after the divisional round of the playoffs.
Okay. So that's the second round in the playoffs.
Yes.
First round is wild card. Second round is divisional round. Third round is championship.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I have a problem with this still. Why can't it just be after the Super Bowl? I don't know. I just have a problem with this. Like, I was hoping that when I read this, it was going to say that it was going to say, that it would be at least after the championship round.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they feel like that if it's after the divisional round, that the coaching, the opportunities won't be around for anyone who's going to be in the championship round or the Super Bowl. I guess that makes sense. If you think about it, I guess it does. Because if you're in the championship, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to be looking for anybody. As far what my problem though is that the opposite way of looking at it. If you have a coach on your team that is in the championship and they can interview, you know what I'm saying? But I still think it should just be after Super Bowl. Like, why can't it just be after the season's over? I just don't understand that. It just don't make no sense to me because you you want their focus to just be on the task at hand, which would be the championship game or the Super Bowl. You don't want them taking interviews. You don't want them doing all, like you don't want them doing that.
I think part of the thing though is that teams are trying to prepare for their future as quickly as possible because the clock of football speeds up and you can't start prepping and how you gonna get players, who you looking to draft if you don't have certain coaches in place, especially like the head coach. So like I don't see like if your team is dominant, then it shouldn't matter if they go interview with another team and then come back. Like I don't think that should affect the coaching. The coaching is going to still be there whether their mind is like whether they're there or not. Like for me, so like I get why you're worried about it, but I think for the NFL, I think the way they look at it is like if I'm a stinky team and I need one of those coaches from one of those good teams, you know what I'm saying? Then at least they're allowing it to be after the divisional round, so you get past the wild card if that's where you are, and then the coach goes for a Skype interview. It's not like he's gonna get up, fly out, go out there. He's probably gonna Skype in. It's the first preliminary interview. They're gonna interview mad coaches anyway, and so I don't see anything really wrong with it. It's just an interview. I don't think that interview takes anything away from the preparation of the team, especially if they made it to the playoffs. So like if you're good at coaching, a 2 hour interview ain't gonna make you lose. That's how I look at it. But that's just me. So I think the NFL because of everything speed up. So like you if you look at our team, right? Like even with Kyle Shanahan, like we couldn't really figure out what he was gonna do until what? He got all his coaches in place, right? And so like he needed to get his defensive coordinator because you get your defensive coordinator now, that's gonna tell you what type of scheme is gonna be happening on the defense. And then from there, now you can start
Yeah,
scouting the different types of play. But when you suck, that's the advantage of stinking. You get a top
yeah,
draft pick and you kind of get first crack at the better coaches. That's just how I look at it.
yeah. So I understand that, but my pushback is that a lot of Falcons fans, and I know because I live like right around this area, felt like that Kyle was like in the Patriots Falcons Super Bowl, that Kyle's mind was so on, knowing that he was going to take that
That's all. That's all.
49er job
That's
because he
all.
had to get a coaching staff and he had
Peachy.
to
That
grab
doesn't
all
make
these
any
people so
fucking
other
sense.
people wouldn't
That's
get
if
them.
we lose a game, we can say that about anything. That you can't say that they weren't saying any of that shit when they was up 28-0, right? Did any Atlanta fan say that Kyle's mind was on coaching when they were up 28-0? Find me one. Because if you could find me one, then I'll agree with that. But that's all, what's the word? Conspiracy. They got their ass whipped by Tom Brady, and it was because Kyle just decided to continue to pass the ball. That's what that was. And as a 49er fan, we know that Kyle will trust his quarterback to throw the ball one freaking thousand times. That we know that now. We weren't thinking it when he was the Atlanta offensive coordinator, but the moment Jimmy Garoppolo was this quarterback, we watched him do it in the Super Bowl, and we watched him do it later after that, and we just watched him do it on Sunday with Brock Purdy. So we know Kyle's going to use his quarterback. That's who he trusts the most. So, like, I just feel like that's what's the a conspiracy because they ended up losing, but they were up 28-0. Don't sit there and tell me all of a sudden at halftime that's the conspiracy. That's what you're telling me at halftime when Matt Ryan dropped back and fumbled the ball. Kyle's mind was thinking to coach the 49ers. I think his mind was always on the 49ers, but he was trying to get through this game. I think Bill Belichick adjusted. They dropped back like idiots. They sacked him, turned the ball over, and turnovers was what happened. You gave Tom Brady chances. That's what I think. I just feel like no one was complaining when they were up 28-0.
Okay. And then In other news, the NFL will not play in Mexico in 2024, so there'll be no games in Mexico for 2024.
I think we're the only team that gets that game, right? The Niners and Cardinals. That's the designated Mexico game.
I think so. I'm almost positive that it is.
I feel like we're the only team. And then
Yeah.
so I'm curious to know when that would kick back around. Like it was last year, which was 2022, and then I can't remember what it was before that. So I'm wondering if it's however many years between 2022 before the last time we played there, and then will it be that next, the next wave around? Because I know we got the Germany games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yep.
we'll see. We'll
Okay.
see.
Yep.
Is that it for NFL?
That's all the NFL news.
All right, let's get to some of these crazy injuries, man. Like these injuries that are kicking up, kicking back, and then and then we'll go ahead and get into this bets 5-1 team. I'm excited.
Okay, so on the injury report, we have David Montgomery in Detroit, his ribs. Christian McCaffrey, 49ers, oblique. Debo Samuel, 49ers, shoulder. Damian Harris from the Patriots. Oh, shoot, I forgot what his injury was. Trent Williams, 49ers, ankle. Jimmy Garoppolo from the Raiders, his back. Justin Fields, Chicago, his hand. Kyron Williams, the Rams, ankle. Ryan Tannehill from the Titans, ankle. Deshaun Watson from the Browns, shoulder. Baker Mayfield from Tampa Bay, his hand. Trevor
Dang,
Lawrence, Jacksonville, knee.
dang.
And then we have from last week, linebacker Matt Milano is out for the season with a broken leg.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah,
That was oh my god, that was disgusting.
that was linebacker Marcus Davenport from the Vikings, his ankle. He's going to be out for a long time. And then, of course, wide receiver Justin Jefferson from the Vikings. We didn't get to talk about him last week. His hamstring. He's going to be out for
Who?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, gonna be out. And then
Ooh.
Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson, his ankle.
And I don't know if you mentioned him because that's like 30 people. That's a lot. Not really. Out of 32 teams, every team got 53. It's not bad ratio wise. Did you mention Marcus Davenport?
Yes,
Okay, from the Vikings. So 5 to 6 weeks.
from his ankle. He's going to be out for quite some time. So he will not be playing on Monday Night Football.
Okay, neither will Justin Jefferson.
That's right.
All right. So yeah, man, this is football. Like, let me ask you this question: how many names did you mention? Do you have them numbered? I'm just curious because I want to know how many of those names do you think will still play on Sunday or Monday or Thursday?
Uh, there's a good chance that the majority of these, it looks like,
Mhm.
is going to play.
Except for like the ones you named: Justin Jefferson, Marcus Davenport.
David Montgomery's not playing. Oh,
Mhm.
Jameer Gibbs is projected to play
He was in the
this week.
concussion protocol. What was his injury last week?
Jameer Gibbs, trying to remember
Thought it
what
was
it
concussion.
was.
Could be wrong, but yeah,
No, I think it was something else. I'm
it was
trying to remember
bull
what it
crap.
was.
That's what it was.
But so, but they're still talking about, the Detroit's talking about looking at some running backs. I just don't know what it is like about him. They just don't want to. They just
Hamstring.
don't want him getting touches like that.
Well, I think they have to look at another running back just if he is the bell cow because they did try him one week when David Montgomery first
Yeah,
got hurt. They tried him
true.
as the bell cow. And it was a hamstring injury. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
And it didn't, but I just don't think they utilize him right, right?
I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. But the majority of
And Watson won't play probably for another couple of
right,
weeks.
no, Watson won't play. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't look like he's gonna play.
Back injury. He went to the hospital from
Yep.
the game. That was man, Jim. Jeez,
Yeah.
prayers, man.
Is Christian McCaffrey is it's more of a pain tolerance thing. That's what's coming out from the 49ers organization.
Still curious
So
to know, Peachy, why we don't know what's going on with the MRI.
right. We still don't know.
Interesting. Right. They know.
It's like the longest
They know. They
MRI. Like I could have had an MRI done and got my results back
That's what I'm
already.
saying. And they got special MRI that
Right.
just chilling.
Normally your MRI is just like that. So everybody's just trying to figure it out. So the fact that it was revealed that it's more of a pain tolerance it must mean that the MRI is okay and that it's just one of those things that Keisha's got to deal with. And Christian McCaffrey's very tough. So if it is a pain tolerance thing, and because he's also trying to break this record, I would say that he's probably going to be available for primetime Monday Night Football.
You think he's trying to break the record, or do you think he's trying? I don't think he's trying to break the record. I just want him to continue to add and break the record. I want to break the record and own the record. I want it. Like I want him to break the record. But I don't know if he's trying.
I feel like that all the NFL players like are familiar with like the records and all that stuff and what they do. And I think that some of their motivation is to try to do that. I think that he may be trying to do that. I think that he may be knowing where he is, and the organization will remind you of things like that whenever you have milestones or everything like that. So he knows.
I didn't say he didn't know. I said I don't think
Yeah.
he's trying. It's a big difference.
You don't think he's trying to?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think he's trying. I think when he goes out there, he's trying to just score on every play, but I don't think he's trying to break a record. Like, you know what I mean? He's trying to be effective, be explosive, be him.
Yeah.
Like, the records will come. Like, you know what I mean? And he already broke Jerry Rice's record. And that's, I mean, I know that's not NFL-esque, but you break
Right.
Jerry Rice record, that's more prominent than any record in the NFL to
Mhm.
me. So look, I'm not saying that he doesn't know or he's unaware of what's going on,
Yeah.
but I think Christian McCaffrey just needs to be healthy. The 49ers
That's
know
true.
that he needs to be healthy. And
Mhm.
a lot of teams are realizing, damn, we need that running back. Like we need we need that one guy, you can count on,
Yep.
whether it's in the screen game, the run game, everything.
Mhm.
So hopefully he'll be good to go. He gets at least he gets an extra day because we
Yep.
play on Monday night, right? But a lot of fans probably feel like he shouldn't play. Neither should Debo. We got a long season to go. Many people feel like we could beat the Vikings without Christian McCaffrey, which I think they can if they prepped and planned
Right.
out those guys.
Exactly.
But it's different when you plan
Mhm.
with those guys
Yep.
and then they get hurt,
And then
and
something
then
crazy happens and you
there
can't
you go.
adjust. Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
There
Absolutely
you go.
right.
All right, Peach. Let's talk about what's going on in the NFL. Here
Mhm.
we go. We got the division standings. I see not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 teams that are 5-1.
Yep.
5 teams that are 5-1. And so the question is, which team is the best 5-1 team? The San Francisco 49ers, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Miami Red Hot Dolphins, or that last team that don't nobody like? Why don't we like Kansas City? Oh, because they beat us in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But why don't other teams like Kansas City? I know why the Niners don't.
Yeah.
Is it Patrick or is it Andy?
I think it's Mahomes.
I'm trying to figure out why we don't. I don't like him either, but I don't know if I don't like him by association because you don't
Right.
like him and everybody else. I'm trying to figure. I know what I don't like about Patrick. I just don't like when he talks.
No. He sounds like Kermit the Frog when he talks.
I can't even do a Kermit the Frog. I can't even think of how Kermit sounds.
Yeah. The Chiefs get bailed out of so many games and
Penalties,
it's
referees.
Yeah, the Chiefs get they get bailed out in so many. Yep.
So Peachy, who is your top 5-1 team currently in the NFL?
So y'all gonna be mad at me?
Oh, see, you already so since you started off with that statement, where you going with this?
Y'all be mad at me. I don't know if there's any fans out there that are fans of this team or not. You'll be happy with me, but I gotta go with the Dolphins. I gotta go with Miami. I mean, how they have just been just obliterating teams no matter what under whoever's missing, who's not there, who's, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I have to go with the Dolphins is number one. What Mike McDaniel is doing with that laid back approach, that laid back, team friendly, like, man, it cracked me up. Breezy, I have to tell you. So
Weird, Peachy. Ah,
I was watching this video the other day of him. No, I think it was just his last game. First of all, he's in this sweat. He's got sweats on, and he's whatever, and he's walking cool down the thing. He's about to call a timeout, and before he calls the timeout, because he was mic'd up, he goes, "Hey, check this out, timeout." He just,
he's so corny.
but the players love him. Like, they love him so much because he's so laid back. They talk
You know,
about in their practices, he's just so chill, and he messes with everybody and he jokes around with everybody, and he just says, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just have a very, very cool, like, laid back approach down there in Miami. And if that helps them to be able to do what they're doing, that's amazing. It also doesn't help to just have like all this talent that you're surrounded by. And like we talked about in the news, you're about to get Ramsey back. So
I don't know if it's talent or if it's speed. Like at this point,
either.
they just run by everybody.
Yeah.
Now I do like Tua, and I'm glad that that he's working out. I think Tua is talented, but
Mm-hmm.
man, they are top loaded with speed. And
They
here's
are.
the thing, right? They draft a rookie with speed, and this is my top 5-1 team too as well. So I'm going with the Dolphins. They draft a rookie with speed. He comes in like week 3, and then he becomes the best running back on the team with Raheem Mostert, who I think may be leading the league with touchdowns at this point. I think he got 2, and
Yeah.
McCaffrey got 1, and they were tied. So I think he has
Mm-hmm.
1 over McCaffrey right now. Like, I just think like out of these 5-1 teams,
Mm-hmm.
Miami is the hottest team,
Yeah.
but they can possibly cool off. Matter of fact, let's just go through the 5-1 teams, and let's give the strengths and their weaknesses of the 5-1 teams. So we both pick Miami to be number one at this.
Mm-hmm.
Peachy did her power rankings. Miami will be one. Miami will be one for me. Let's go. Let's finish the AFC. Let's talk about the Chiefs. Like, what are their strengths and what? Give me a strength and one of their weaknesses.
One of the chief strengths would have to be their defense.
Oh, yeah, start.
Their defense is pretty good. I would say their defense is going to continue to be better because it would have to be better in spite of their offense. So their weakness would be right now their offense because Pat Mahomes has got to figure out a way to get to all of his weapons besides Travis Kelce. If you look at their connection, sometimes Travis Kelce's not catching that ball, and they can't. So he's got to continue, and they also need to use their running backs. They have a running game. They just need to utilize it. Pat Mahomes needs to stop like throwing back like all the time. He needs to just let the running backs, well, not him, but Andy Reid or I don't know who their offensive coordinator is. I forgot what his name is, but they need to utilize the run game more. Then Mahomes wouldn't have to play so much hero ball and have a chance to get hurt like all the time because he always has the ball. Like, they just need to hand the ball off more is what I think. So that's what I feel like that their strengths and weaknesses.
All right. I mean, as far as their weakness, as far as a strength for me is just Patrick Mahomes. I still think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and sometimes it just don't matter how you win the games as long as you win them. And after they lost to Detroit, they just kept figuring out how to win. They won 4 straight. That's pretty damn hot to me. Regardless of who they played, regardless of how ugly those games looked, like he figured it out. And so, and you just told me, you just said he has to figure it out. Well, he has. He's won 4 games straight. It's not going to be the same type of Chiefs offense we've seen before. There's no Eric Bieniemy there. So I don't know what their offensive identity is. Like you said, I don't think it's to run the ball. I don't think they have running backs that are running backs like that. I like Pacheco, McKinnon. These are different types of running backs. I don't know what they're doing with Clyde, whatever his name is, Alaire. I don't know, but I just feel like I like Patrick Mahomes as far as finding ways. You want to know who's elite? Patrick Mahomes is elite because he figures out a way to make sure his team wins. But as far as their weakness, um, I don't think their defense is as strong as we say it is. I think they got a couple of good players on defense. And Chris Jones is probably top one of the best defensive players of all time. And then they got Bolton back, so they looked a lot better. But I think they can. I think their defense can still be touched. I don't think it's top five, but I think they have the ability to finish top five. So I would say they still need to be stronger, a little bit stronger on defense. Let's go with the Eagles in the NFC. We'll do the three NFC teams. We just capped off the AFC teams. Strength and weakness for the Eagles.
The strength of the Eagles is probably still their O line. Um, the reason why that it's as long as Lane Johnson's out, I think their O line is going to look a little different. I would say that they'll figure out a way to regroup now because just like you said a while ago about the 49ers, when you know, lose a huge piece like that during the game and then have to make adjustments, that's sometimes you just cannot do that. Like sometimes it's just hard to overcome. So I would say that Philly will be more prepared for that situation now if they are going to be without Lane and they can figure something out. But I still think their O line is still one of the best ones in the National Football League. Their weakness, I would say, is the quarterback because he's making some pretty rough decisions. And let me also say this: Philly, and I'm glad that the national media, after you lose a game, that's when the national media starts going, well, you got to look at this game and look at this game and see how this game. Philly's barely been getting by in these games as it is, like by a thread. I mean, to where people were like scratching their head, like, how did they win that game? Like, how, and all that. But I do feel like that their weakness right now is Jalen because something is in his head. And even like the Philly fans are even like worried about that. He's throwing a lot of picks. And, O-line or not, like before Lane Johnson went out, Jalen Hurts was throwing picks. And so something's not there. He has a lot of weapons. They have a dynamic running game. Like they have everything that it takes. So I would say that would be who I would say that the weakness is as far as I'm concerned.
It's tough to put it on. It's tough for me to put it just on Hurts with the new offensive coordinator. Is he playing good football? No. I don't know if he's the weakness. I don't know. I think that I'm gonna go with the play calling. I like the weakness that you gave me, but I'm gonna go just with the offensive play calling. It's a little different. It's just not allowing Jalen Hurts to play like Jalen Hurts, right? And I think you're taking the matters out of his hands, and I think that's confusing him. So if you said mentally he just looks different, he's not playing the same type of football, I think that's why. I think he's trying to learn this new offense. My thing is, if you're a new offensive coordinator and you come into this team, like, why are you changing up anything? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, stupid. So if anything, you
Yeah.
add a little wrinkle to the
Right.
situation, like a little wrinkle at a
Right.
time, right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know, Peachy.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you what I think. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get why you're saying Hurts because he looks bad, and you can't have all these weapons and look that bad unless you're not comprehending what you're being asked to do.
Right.
And I just think the play calling, it starts there. I think they need to get back to simple. Whatever they were doing, they had a dynamic. Well, was the offense dynamic even last year? Now that we think about it, without Jalen Hurts running and scrambling and keeping plays alive, was the offense dynamic? They had some dynamic plays from AJ Brown. They had some dynamic plays from Devontae Smith, and now this year, I feel like which would be my strength of the Eagles is running the ball. They don't even stick to that.
Yeah. And
How
they
do you have
have
how you have a running back Peachy that got almost 200 yards in a game,
right.
and then you just say, "Now we're not going to use him this time."
Yeah. I just I just honestly, I think Jalen and the OC, they're just not on the same page. Like they're just not connecting right now. Like something's just not there. They just I know that he, just got there and everything like that, but it's like they're just not because Jalen just doesn't look the same. He just looks like he just has too much going on in his mind to try to figure out like what to process. Like he's not processing like he was a really quick processor, and now it's like he's just not. So I think maybe they may have some play calling differences. Maybe they might be doing that. I'm not sure. All I know is that Philly's O line is still spectacular, and Jalen just acts like he just
That's their strength.
can't do any. Just can't do anything back there anymore. So.
I like that you went with the O line as their strength, and I went with the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Just run the ball behind the
Yeah.
offensive line. It's common sense.
And they need to get Goddard involved more. And I don't understand like what happened to him. Like he disappeared. I know because he's on two of my fantasy teams, and I just don't get it.
Sure.
I just do not understand. Like what's what. But I'm sure that Philly will figure it out and get it together, and hopefully they'll be better for it.
So, like, Sim says he didn't just get there. The OC was on the staff. Did he OC last year?
I
The
I didn't.
OC that's
I
now,
thought they had a new. I thought they had a new offensive coordinator this
they
year.
do. He was on the staff last year. I think
Got you.
that's my thing. So, like, Sim is saying it's the same system. You could be 100% correct, but it ain't don't look the
It
same.
doesn't look the same. It does not look fluid like it did. Like it definitely does not.
And the players didn't change.
Right.
Who'd they lose?
Right. And the players stayed the same. Yep.
So,
So.
like, you're right. The system is the same, but it just doesn't appear to be the same
Mm-mm.
system because
Yeah.
it's not being executed like it was. And that could be because of the offensive coordinator being different,
Yeah. Yep.
right? I mean, like, because if the guy was there last year and he got bumped up to be an OC and he just don't, it's just too much for him. And for something is wrong with the with that marriage right there. Let's go to the Detroit Lions, who may be just the hottest team in the
Oh
NFC.
yeah. Good grief.
Okay, Dan Campbell. Okay.
Yeah. I mean.
What's your weakness?
Hmm. Well, trying to think.
They got a weakness. What's the weakness?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. Okay, so
Strong defense.
their secondary is not very good. Now
Right.
their front is really good, but their secondary is to me is probably their weakest. Now with the running back issues that they're having,
That's the weakness.
I would also say the running backs, especially with Montgomery being out and them, trying to figure it. So that can cause some problems for
Trying to
Jared Goff.
Peachy, how Montgomery was terrible in Chicago.
Right. And then he comes to
He
Detroit
became
and
a
just
bowling
lighten it up.
ball. I was like, yo, where you been? I've been drafting you for years.
Right. Yeah. He's just like a renewed person. Like it's crazy. Like Montgomery is just thriving in this offense.
But he
Whatever
can't
they
stay
got set
healthy.
up is
That was
really
his
good.
issue, even in Chicago. Because
Yeah.
remember, they would go to Khalil Herbert,
Mm-hmm.
and now he can't stay healthy.
Oh yeah.
Chicago, now they got to go with Rashawn Johnson, and he's under concussion
And he's
protocol.
yeah.
So is it Deontay Foreman, the former
Yeah.
Carolina Panther?
Yep.
Wow. But back to the Lions. I think you just spot on with their weaknesses. I think their strength is just freaking Jared Goff, and I didn't think I would ever say that in my entire life.
Right.
But listen, that was probably the best thing that happened to Detroit. He
Yes.
goes to a team with no expectations.
Mm-hmm.
He can kind of just be who he is.
Yep.
Now they're surrounding him with weapons galore. He's
Yep.
got a top tight end, and as a rookie, he's got a body of wide
He
receivers.
just got his Bama back and
His deep
Jamison.
threat back.
He just got back.
So now they can take
It's
the top
whew.
off the defense. They got
Yes.
St. Brown that can move the chains. They got
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds and Benolds and Kennolds and all these other Ennolds.
No.
They, they are they they look they look kind of scary. You know what makes them look scary? Just
Mm.
the damn coach, Dan Campbell. Like
Oh yeah.
I he look a little bit scary. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's Campbell is probably the most aggressive coach in the National Football League.
More
Like
aggressive
he
than
will
Jim
go
Schwartz
for like
than
he
we've
don't
ever seen.
care. Like if 4th and 16, he'll still go for it.
I love it. I love it. You
Which
said
is how
fourth
the
and
Lions
16,
beat the
you'll go
Chiefs
for it
week 1.
because it was a weird
Aggressive.
play. They just weren't ready. That's the thing, though. When teams are used to being desperate, they will do
Yeah.
anything to get off. Like, even if you go back to this Niners game, they get to the red zone. They're
Mm-hmm.
about 16 yards out from the end zone. They take the quarterback off the field, and the Niners didn't know what to do.
Yep.
They lined a tight end up. Next thing you know, it's a Kareem Hunt touchdown. Dude ain't scored since 2020. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
golf looks good on the Lions. And they're gonna be tough. Now they're gonna get battle tested at some point.
Oh yeah.
And so we'll see. But that NFC North, the Vikings, look at it. The Vikings are the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears. Come on. Look at
Yeah.
those records.
They also are they're would they play in such a weak division
That's my point.
that they're gonna like run away with it. So we know that Detroit is gonna be the one that's gonna be there for the playoffs or whatever, and that's gonna be fun to me. It's fun to have the Lions, like people talking about the Lions in a positive light, like a real positive light. This is no accident. This is no, you know what I'm saying? Like these guys are balling. Their front seven, headed up by Aiden Hutchinson.
One of my favorite players.
He's a beast. Oh my goodness.
That's their
He
strength.
is everywhere. He is a wrecking ball.
You pick the defensive front as their strength. I'm going with Jared Goff as their strength.
Mhm.
They're out for blood. Let's go with the Niners. We'll cap this off. We got to
Okay.
get up out of here. Let's go with the Niners. Strengths and weaknesses.
So it's real crazy because I can like point everybody's team out and then my own. I'm sitting up here like almost in tears. I still think that the 49ers weakness is their secondary, and I feel like that the 49ers need to work on that before the trade deadline, and I think that they're going to.
What about the secondary do you feel is weak? Like, where is it weak?
I feel like I feel like that our corners could be stronger.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like the weakness is just it's not how they play. It's making the mistakes. And I feel like, why are we making so many freaking mistakes? And it's not like we got that many new players on this team. If
Yeah.
anybody was making mistakes out there, it would be the newer players, the rookies,
Yeah, that's a good point.
the free agents. It's happening from the veterans.
Mhm. That's true.
Like penalties, like I think we're ranked 28th.
Yeah.
There's only 32 teams in the NFL. We're ranked 28th in penalties.
Yeah.
Just in the game alone, we had 13 this past week. So the Niners got to go out, to me, and just be smarter. I don't know.
And what was crazy is we were just talking about how that Greenlaw had got these penalties that he didn't play. we still got like
Right.
tons of penalties.
Which was huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which was huge, right? Great.
Yeah.
Listen, it's either that's the weakness or their ability to adjust when they don't have they full
Right.
cast out there. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
I have to read
That's
this
true.
by Maria Ortega because this is funny. She says, "I wasn't born yet the last time the Lions won a playoff game. Now I have children. Yo, the Lions have been bad for a long time.
Yes.
I'm
A
going
long.
to help celebrate while they win during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they deserve it." That was funny, Maria. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, that was funny.
Yeah.
Strengths of the 49ers. What is your strength?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the linebackers. I feel like Fred Warner is just a strength, like all on his own, like just by himself. Like I feel like that he is enough strength for them. But then when you have Greenlaw out there, of course that helps. But Warner is just. I still feel like that Warner should be Defensive Player of the Year. He's just everywhere. He's always affecting a play, and he's just amazing. So, yep, it would have to be them. Yep.
The linebackers, they may be the strongest core
Right.
unit on the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, and I saw Sim put this in the chat, but he must have jumped into my notes. But the Niners, in my opinion, are still the most balanced team. They can beat you with the run. They can beat you with the pass. They can stop your run. They can stop the pass. They
Yeah.
don't get beat deep. Like they don't give up. They give up explosive plays. They're working on that. That's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
They're not giving up a lot of points. And I know they gave up 19 points to the Cleveland Browns, but I mean they're still top as far as scoring defense in the league. I just feel like the weakness can triumph all of that in a
Right.
snap. And getting those penalties, like penalties. I mean, the Niners are up by one, and then they're trailing by two.
Yeah.
Then they have the opportunity to get the ball right back. Like, but excuse me, they were up by one before they were even trailing. The
Mm-hmm.
penalty would allow them to kick the field goal in the first place. I know it was a bang bang play, but dang, like then it was back to back penalties on top of that,
Yeah.
right? It's just penalties, I think, was hindering them. I do think as long as they continue to find the trend to stay healthy, PG, I think those penalties will work themselves out as long as the season goes along, right? Like I feel like they'll get better. A lot of people like may feel the secondary is the weakest. I don't know, man. Like they gave up. They're not. They're not. It's hard to argue against that when they gave up two explosive plays yesterday on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They gave up to the same person.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think.
Yep.
I mean, if Diameter Lenore doesn't fall, it's not an explosive play. And if Mooney Ward is in the right position as well as Tufunga, it's not an explosive play. The
Oh,
ball
you
was
talking about the Amari Cooper one, the one where he went up to get the.
both of them, right? Both
Yeah.
of them, both of them
Mm-hmm.
were on by Amari
Yeah.
Cooper. So
They were. They
those
were
were the.
both
But my,
Amari.
my, my point though, Peachy, is that those were the only two explosive plays
Mm-hmm.
on in the air. Everything else was like on the ground, screens, blah 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 blah. So we'll see. Like we'll see. I think the nickelback position is still a work in progress. So if that's where we can improve, cool. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think the Niners are the most balanced team in the NFL, and they got beat by not being balanced.
Right.
Remember, I said they couldn't establish the
Mm-hmm.
rhythm. They couldn't be balanced. I know the game finished with what 27 throws and 24 runs, but there still was no rhythm. So,
All right. Well, Vegas seems to agree with that because the new Super Bowl odds came out through week 6, and the
oh wow.
49ers are still in first place.
All I know is that there's a one by that. I still don't understand the shit. Like I get plus 430, plus 5, but I just look for the one. you know, here's the playoff picture
Mm-hmm.
after week 6. The Niners would be in the
Yeah.
Super Bowl with
The Chiefs.
the 2-1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I do want to talk about the power rankings. This is from Peter Briscoe's from CBS Sports. We did our power rankings. We did our top 5. He has KC, Miami, Detroit, San Francisco, and then the Eagles. What are your top 5? Miami, that's both of ours, right? What
Mm-hmm.
what what are your other 4?
The 49ers right behind Miami.
So you got Miami 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I would go Miami 49ers, Kansas City, the Eagles, and the Lions.
Okay. I think I'm going with I just try to stay consistent. That's me. If
Mm-hmm.
you guys know me, I'm gonna stay consistent. So I got the Eagles at 5. I got the Lions at 4. I got the Niners at 3. I got Kansas City at 2, and I got Miami at 1. I think that's
I
where I
got you. One thing that I've noticed, no matter what power ranking came out today, the 49ers are ahead of the Eagles in
right.
every
Well, the
single one of
49ers
them.
they're the best
Whether
team.
we're fourth, whether we're
You're right.
third.
I see what you're saying. The 49ers are the best team in in the NFC. Like still. I know we lost.
Right.
Guys, don't forget to vote for the rookie of the week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's CJ Stroud, Zay Flowers, Michael Mayer. Finally, his name gets called. I didn't know where he was. I knew the Raiders drafted him, but I couldn't figure out where the hell he was.
Yeah.
Byron Young and Juju Brents, cornerback. Ooh. And then Devon Witherspoon from
Yep.
Seattle. All
Be
right.
sure and vote.
Yep. And then as far as your ground players of the game, FedEx Ground, Kyron Williams, Raheem Mostert, Derrick Henry. Finally, Derrick Henry came to life. Don't know where he's been
Right.
all season long, but
Hiding under a rock somewhere.
somewhere. And then your FedEx Ground Players of the Week, go vote. Jared Goff, there's that daggone name. Jared Goff, 353, 2 passing TDs. Derek Carr, I had him on my bench this week too. Derek Carr finally threw for over 300
Me
yards.
too. I had him on my bench too.
Tua had 3 passing TDs this week. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Whatever. Peachy, before we get up out of here, let's do some final thoughts. Tom Brady said that the NFL is becoming too soft.
Yep.
Just really quickly, like, and the officials, like, your quick thoughts on that. Like, just agree or disagree. We don't have to discuss it. We can talk about it on the next show.
I completely agree. There was a horrible, horrible roughing the passer call on Josh Allen. I don't know how they call that roughing the passer. He would I don't know what to say. I completely agree with that. That was crazy. That was probably the craziest one, the craziest penalty that I've actually seen a rough in the past like this year. It was so bad. There was just, I mean, he barely touched, like he just grazed him. He didn't even. I'm trying to figure out what they were looking at.
I'm
I don't
all
know.
I'm all for protecting the quarterbacks, but damn. Like even Brady didn't get that call, right?
Right.
Like dang. Like
Yep.
wow, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, when Brady talks, it's cool to hear Brady talk now that he's not playing the
It
game.
really is. I like him better that he's not playing.
I think everybody likes it better that he's not playing. But we started the show talking about the officials. We're ending the show talking about Tom Brady. I do want to shout out my brother Sean. He gave a couple of super chats. He says, I'll roast a player with zero feelings. Zero. He says, I'm surprised after Brock's first loss, everyone jumped ship. Come on. Steady is who he is. He was in a position to win at the end. Just a bad game. So I don't know if Sean's still watching, but I do want to touch this because like he says jumps everyone's jumping ship. I'm just trying to be curious. Like, how do you take that? How do you interpret that? Because jumping ship would be like, for me, get Brock out of here. He's not good. That would be jumping ship. So what to me? What is jumping ship to
That's exactly what he's talking about. He's talking about that everybody is off the Brock Purdy train after one bad game. I've seen it all over social media.
you? Really?
Yes.
I have not
Yes, I've
seen it.
seen it everywhere.
Really?
It is really bad.
I don't pay
It's
attention.
very bad. From the national media, Brock finally looked like, Mr. Irrelevant out there. He
But that's not that's
looked like seventh rounder finally.
that's
He
not jumping
finally
ship.
showed this.
That's not jumping ship at all. That's stating the obvious.
No, I was talking about what the national media is talking about as
No,
far
I
as
know, but
the fan base.
even with the national media putting out those
Yeah.
statements, how is that jumping ship?
No, what I'm saying is our fan base is basically saying that they're just like the 49ers made a mistake. They shouldn't have done this. They kept the wrong quarterback. This quarterback can't do this. This quarterback can't do that. If he's missing players, then he can't do anything. Where people were saying that he's a system quarterback and that he just works, in the system because he has all his great weapons. And then people are saying, like once his weapons are gone, now this is what he looks like. And this is not going to be the last game for that because of blah, 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 talking about the elements, talking about all these different things. So they're just, I do get what Sean's saying as far as that goes. I'm not surprised because I know the 49er fan base very well. So it doesn't surprise me that they're saying all these horrible things
You're
that they're
right.
saying.
Clearly, I don't know the 49er fan base as well as I thought. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not paying them any attention.
Yeah.
I think that's what it
Got
comes
you.
down to. But I will be the first to say Brock looked like shit. Like at the end of the day, like he was terrible. Like that doesn't mean I'm jumping shit because I said Brock looked bad. He was bad. Like what's wrong with saying that Brock was bad? Like I think that like not a bad game, he was bad. Like bad. And then if you like, when people keep telling me that and people keep saying that, he was in a position to win at the end, the team was in a position to win at the end.
Yeah.
Jake Moody misses the field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy was 0 for 2 on the first two throws.
Mm-hmm.
He got a flag on the third one, which extended the drive.
Mm-hmm.
Then he hits Brandon Ayuk, which took a 7-yard pass for 20 something yards. And then, yes, that's what happened. But Brock still didn't look good. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. It's okay for Brock to have a bad game.
The only thing that I said was I feel like Joe Burrow does with his gloves, that when it's raining or something like that, like Brock's gonna have to wear gloves because his hands are small. He's got to have some kind of grip
Maybe he
because
made
several times he lost the grip on the ball was what the problem was. I mean, it literally showed in slow motion on the replays where it showed where he just lost grip. And so that means that he's got to wear gloves. I don't know if he's ever wore gloves before. Doesn't matter. He's got to be able to grip that football. We can't have that. That's one thing that we cannot have because we know that one of his measurables is he has small hands. That's just a fact. And
to me,
he's got to do that.
so to me, I'm not saying that as a coach, like you have to know these things.
Right.
And I get it. They were taking away the run. So you know what? I'm not a head coach. I'm no longer able to talk about what our head coach coulda, shoulda, woulda, or did. Sean came back and said, "Get that Raider trash out of the room." Glad we kicked that stink out of the bay. Y'all kicked the Raider guy out of the chat?
No, he's talking about
Oh, the team. He
the
says
whole
the A's,
team.
the A's
Yeah.
are next. I used to love the Oakland A's. We defended Garbagalo over and over for throwing to linebackers. Purdy to the wheels fall off. Look, I'm all for Brock Purdy. Never once did I say that he's not the quarterback of the 40. Matter of fact, on our show, I said he was still elite. I'm the only person
Exactly.
saying he's elite.
Breezie, and guys, that's what you don't understand. Breezy's the one that's talking about how that he thinks that Brock is elite,
I
and
think he's an
a,
elite. I
a
know he
lot of
is,
our other ones,
but
just including me, feel like he hasn't had enough time to qualify for being elite.
he's played elite football except minus one game in his career. So how is this kid not elite? He's played elite football. He had a current winning streak that broke elite football Hall of Fame player streaks. So for me, how is he not in that elite category? Because at the end of the day, if that's the question, if that's the case, then there's only one elite quarterback in the NFL, and he looked like shit. One, and his name is Patrick Mahomes, and he don't look good because he out of all those quarterbacks that we call elite, he the only one that got two Super Bowls. So why am I being battered for calling Brock Purdy elite? Like I just feel like he he looked pretty dang elite until he lost that game. So if he continues to keep the strides moving forward, get more games under his belt, cool. Y'all will put him in the elite category. But at the end of the day, Brock's still the most competent quarterback the 49ers have had in a long time.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know he lacks certain characteristics because of his measurables and things like that. And I get that's why people don't make him as an elite candidate. But at the end of the day, the dude still goes out there and finds ways to win. And like y'all said, Sean said it. He found a way to get his team into winning position, right? And as a team, they couldn't come through. So, what would make Brock Purdy elite? I don't know. In y'all eyes, everybody has their own definition. I wish there was a definition of what makes quarterbacks elite, because I feel like everyone it changes for different quarterbacks. Is it the measure? Is it the measurables? Like you said, the strong arm, the what? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But at the end of the day, I think Brock Purdy has been playing elite football for the San Francisco 49ers. I think the team as a whole didn't show up against the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what happened. And once the injuries happened, like you said earlier, Peachy, it was kind of like Brock find a way to win this game. And he found a way and we couldn't win it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We gave y'all an extra 30 minutes. Y'all should be happy. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is every Tuesday, all right? Unless something crazy happens and we can't go live. But we do appreciate everybody for being here. Peachy, you are one in a million. Everybody out there, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We out.